Today I'm going to show you my new Magpul PTS. It is a sweet gun and I'm going to pull it out of the box. Here's the top of the box. This is the gun. This gun is absolutely amazing. I will tell you the few pros about the gun that I have found so far. I have not used it in a skirmish yet, but I have shot it. Pros are, it looks absolutely amazing. This is the dark earth color. It has a adjustable stock. Very cool Magpul PTS stock. This is the Magpul PTS hand grip. Comes with a 30 round low cap Magpul PTS magazine. It has trademarks. Magpul Armament Company. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. It has an absolutely stellar sight. Let's see if I can get it to pop up for you. The Magpul PTS sight. Very cool sight for the M4. Pops up and pops down. This is very cool. The full metal receiver here and body. Everything else is of course polymer, as is of the Magpul tradition. A couple of things about this gun that I don't like is the selector switch. It's not as crisp. As you turn it, it doesn't click. It feels a little weak. Don't know what that is exactly, but it just feels a little cheap for a $400 gun. You'd think they would think of everything. The other thing I don't like is the handguard does not fit a 9.6 volt battery very well. I have a 9.6 volt nunchuck battery in here. This 9.6 volt nunchuck battery is kind of crammed in. You can see the bend here in the stock, or I'm sorry, in the handguard. You can see that bend in it. That's because the battery is really crammed in. I'll try to take it apart and show you. This comes off like so. This is a 9.6 volt 2000 milliamp battery. It looks like it's going to fit sitting in here like this, but you have to really cram it in. As you can see, I don't like small batteries, so if you are planning to get this gun, which I do recommend that you do, I highly recommend getting a LiPo battery, because I believe this gun was made for a LiPo battery. As you can see, it's not easy to get it back in, and when you do get it back in, there's a bend in the stock right here, or in the handguard right here, where you had to cram it to get that 9.6 2000 milliamp hour battery in it. I imagine it would probably fit a 9.6 mini much better. As you can hear, it's fairly crisp, but it does sound a little, it's got a little bit of a delay. On full auto, it's pretty fast, but with the 9.6 only, it's nothing really extraordinary in comparison with some of the LiPo batteries that I've seen. The hop-up, one thing about the hop-up here is that I notice when I let go of this, sometimes you can see it doesn't always go all the way back. I don't know if that's a defective spring or something else wrong with it, but anyway, it's it doesn't always go back. So this is my initial impression of the Magpul PTS. The gun is miles and miles above any other lower end AEG. It's definitely worth $400. I paid $449 for this gun at Young's Army Navy in Kalamazoo, and you can get it online for a little cheaper, but I didn't want to wait for shipping. Most places you can get it for about $420. Alright, this is going to be our shooting test. We're going to first shoot a target 40 feet, then 80 feet, then 120 feet, then 160 feet. Our range is a little dark because we're doing it indoors, so bear with us. But the very first thing we're going to do is switch over. We're going to do this shooting test. Alright, here we are at 40 feet. I don't know if you can see this, but the box is a little bit shredded. It's a pretty thick cardboard box. None of the BBs actually entered into the box. There are some holes. This is 120 feet. And the box itself has a couple of small dents right here, and a couple dents. There's a dent right there. So this is pretty heavy cardboard. It's still denting it at 120 feet. This is 160 feet. And that was a whole magazine. Okay, at 160 feet,
it was a pretty tight grouping.
We have several dents. It's kind of hard to see them, but they're definitely there. There's several dents.
All in a pretty tight grouping too, might I mention.
So 160 feet, still tagging it. We're going to move another 20 feet, see what we can do. We're at 160 feet. Oops. $180 feet right here for our next attempt. All right, this is 180 feet. As you can see, he's still tagging it. So that concludes our shooting test of the Magpul PTS. It's a stellar gun that has good aiming range. My final thoughts on it are that this gun would be a great buy for anybody who wants a high-end AEG, something better than a JG or Echo 1, something that really stands out in the crowd. This gun will do that for you. And based on the shooting test, it has a pretty good range as well. It's totally stock. I've done nothing to it except put one 9.6 volt battery in it and filled up the magazine. So that's your airsoft of Kalamazoo, Manta Ray 31, and Tino, who's behind the camera. Thanks for watching.